Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome Dianne back to the channel. How are you doing today?
Well, happy to be back, first of all, and I'm doing great. I'm now, what is it, like 2 weeks after, not even, it's 1.5 week after the release of my latest single. Happy to be here talking about it and thrilled to share how good things are going.
Yeah, and it's also been 2 years since we last spoke, and that was just after your first release after the storm. These two
Yeah.
years have gone by so incredibly fast, and we're already at 6 singles into your autobiographical album, should I say, Soulward Bound. How have you found the response from your fan base who have followed you from your previous bands and projects, or people who are now just finding you through this album?
Yeah, that is very funny actually, because I've, of course, a lot of fans moved with me. Not to say that they aren't still listening to Xandria, because we can, of course, coexist. But
Mhm.
a lot of them also kept following me and are thrilled that I'm after the outing that I had with Ex Libris, which is progressive metal, are thrilled that I'm back into symphonic metal ever since I, of course, released After the Storm. And what I meant with funny is that I have a lot of people now discovering me or rediscovering me, and then going back into the discography, and then they figure out that I also was in Xandria, and they're like, oh wait, so that's the same singer and she's now doing this. So they first hear my solo work, and then they find out what I've also done. So it's now becoming the other way around, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah. Now, I was one of those who followed you from Zandria and then came into Ex Libris, which I absolutely adore. That project you did with the three Anns. Anne Boleyn is one of my favorite historical figures, and of course her daughter Elizabeth I. It's just, it really fascinates me, that period in time. So then when I found out
Oh,
you were
same.
doing that with Ex Libris, I was like, yes, putting it into the song form that you did, and becoming these three ants as well. Just like,
I totally get your enthusiasm, because I too love everything Tudor. I've also been to the castles. I've stood where Anne Boleyn was actually beheaded. I've been to her grave, if she's really there, because they're not
right.
quite sure. But anyway, they have a grave there. And the other Annes got to me as well, Anastasia Romanova and Anne Frank, but well, nothing hit home, even though it was, of course, the oldest of the three. So not even close to where we are now in history. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just connected with her, and it felt good to crawl into her skin and bring her back to life.
Yeah. No, it just, I've, ever since I was a child and learning about that history in school, I've just been so incredibly fascinated. And then I think a lot
Yeah,
of women tend to connect with Anne Boleyn because, she
I think
told
so too.
Henry VIII, she's like, no, I am not going to become your mistress, especially in those times when it just wasn't regular for a woman to
Oh,
put
she
up
was way
boundaries.
ahead of her time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then Henry VIII, so desperate for his son, and yet Elizabeth I comes along and she's the king he so wanted and led the country to where it is now. And yeah,
Yeah.
I even have a tattoo portrait of Elizabeth I on my
You
leg.
do?
I do, yeah.
Wow, you gotta show me that after this
I
recording.
will. I will. I'll send it you on Instagram. But yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
back to your Soulward Bound album. The events of this
Yes.
album are, of course, based on your real life experiences that have happened within the last the previous
Yeah.
5 years. And
Yes.
do you
Yeah.
find it difficult to bring these feelings and the past back up, to bring it back to
So on
life
the
in a
on the
way?
one hand, on the sorry, cutting into you.
No, I was just gonna say, or do you find it more so like cathartic, or is it like sort of both within those
Well,
things?
it's definitely cathartic. Um, I've been used to. I've studied classical music, so I'm used to crawling in someone else's skin, doing my research on a story, be it fiction, be it a real story. I'm really used to that, and then finding my way through someone's character. This time, the person I'm impersonating is myself, which is it is well, I don't have to do the research, so that is a lot of work that I do not have to do. But on the other hand, it is quite scary because I'm actually a really private person,
Mhm.
and now I'm talking open and honestly about what I've gone through in the previous 5 years. And the way that I find is a good way to do this is to share my story without too many like diary details, but just give it to the audience in a way that they can still like read it as if it was about them,
Mhm.
because I want people to connect to the story. And for example, a symphonic tragedy that is about having a surgery and how it feels to go into that deep sleep of the anesthetics and then coming out and having a body that is, well, not able to do anything anymore, and facing that upward climb, and how daunting such an experience is, and how, back to basics you really go. I mean, when I came out of that surgery, after 2 weeks I could stand, before that not, and my tummy muscles were so weakened that I could not do this. Lift a glass like this. I could not get the glass further than, your camera doesn't see it, further than this, which as a singer, you can understand how scary I was,
Yeah.
how scared I was, how scary the process was. And I would just wanted to sing about that because I knew that people would relate. You don't have, I had a stomach surgery. It doesn't have to be stomach. Any kind of surgery, be it big or small, is daunting. And I didn't know of a song out there yet that tells about that. So this is just an example of how I want to, through my music, give people some kind of uh, relatability, or an embrace, someone saying to you, you're not alone. You might feel alone. I've gone through it too, and maybe if you listen to my song you feel strengthened, and you feel the willpower to get through this.
Yeah. Well, that was actually one of my questions of how do you feel knowing that your listeners can take your art and your words and your music and then transform it into their own feelings, and then it sort
Yeah,
of becomes like a musical therapy in a way.
that's everything that I want from the music that I create. I mean, I create it from my point of view. I think I have a story to tell, and I tell it, and then I want the story to evolve, to become their own. I don't want them uh, to feel that they have to only listen to my story. That would be very selfish and arrogant if it would be, if it was only allowed to be about me. It's not like that at all. I don't think that music uh, is that at its core. Music is for comfort, it's for celebrating, it's for everything that you are looking for. Not I as a storyteller. I just give them the story, and then I needed to grow, and find that special place in someone else's heart, and that can only happen if they believe it's about them, and it gives them strength and courage, and whatever they need.
Well, and I also think that speaks to the kind of person you are, like within deep in your heart and your soul, because
Maybe.
it does because there are artists out there I think that are like, no, it's got one meaning, it should mean this, it shouldn't mean anything else, and they're kind of like you said, it's that arrogance about it. Whereas with you, yes, this is a personal journey that we're going on with you, and it is personal life experiences. Yet you're so open to people taking it and transforming it into something they can relate to. And that,
Yeah.
like you said, that's what music is. That's what music should be. And that's the
Yes.
beauty of you as an artist. And I can't imagine like having people reach out to you and being like, hey, this song that you've written, it's so personal to you, yet it's just helped me through so much within my own life. I mean, even with
Yeah.
me, your music, I was so glad when you finally like came back and you were like, oh, I'm doing a solo album. It's going to be this long process. I was like, yes, we get to spend what, 5, you're going to do it over 5 years, is it? Or four
Yeah.
years?
5 years.
Yeah, and we get to spend 5 years together. We get to go on this adventure
Yeah.
together through your own
It is
music, and
that exactly.
exactly. And speaking of that, you are doing these singles, these songs in like a cycle form where you're just
Yeah.
focusing on one song one time, that process, writing, then filming the music video, putting it out,
Yeah.
promoting it, and then moving on to the next one.
Yes.
Do you
And
feel
I thought
like
that would be way easier, but it isn't.
that was going to be my question. I was like, do you
Yeah.
feel like that's less difficult, less pressure, or do you feel like it's more pressure because now once the cycle is over, you're like, oh, well, now I really have to get my thinking cap back on, and now I have to delve into this next song and this next
I
process?
do. Yeah. 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 I get your question. I give myself 1 month, um, which is great because it gives me a little bit of rest after the release, so I can deal with the aftermath, which doesn't sound too nice, but it's a nice aftermath, but it's a lot of work. So I get to deal with that, and then but I should say we, because I co-write together with Joost van den Broek, who is also the producer. Then we dive into the next song. And indeed, there's nothing on the paper yet, so we have to start from scratch. The only thing that I've mapped out when I started the whole Soulward Bound journey was the topics of all 10 songs. So that is what I have. But I do not yet have what they will sound like, so I do not yet have a musical vision. There are no lyrics. There are no people invited yet for the upcoming songs. Everything is still open. But that also gives me a great opportunity to go with the flow, because when you start writing a song, you can have an idea of what it should sound like, but in the end, it might evolve into something totally different. And then the next song has to match that previous song, especially if you do what I do, is make it one big concept album. So if I would have written all the songs, probably not in chronological order, then you would really have some work in trying to fit them all together, which is not what I have to do. That being said, I thought creating an album is a lot of work, so I'm going to do each song separately, and that will give me loads of time to think about it. Though indeed I might have loads of time when you look at it and you think 5 years, my God, what's she doing over there? But I'm doing a production process that you would normally do one time. I'm doing this 10 times. And that is just, if I now, look at it from someone else's perspective, I might just say, "Oh, you mad woman." Because I must be, because doing everything 10 times in a row is, well, 10 times the work. But then again, I really get to do it per song, and um, that just means that I get to deliver so much more detail and story and layers, because I love layers. I love hiding Easter eggs in my lyrics, and story Easter eggs in my video. There are so many. I mean, to give you one example, I've started off with a blue dress, and I'm now in a beige dress, and I'm slowly returning to blue because that is my color of strength. In this video, I'm actually wearing two beige dresses. When I fall down, I am wearing a long beige dress, and when I stand up, my skirt is much shorter. It is, well, practically it's a different dress, but in the story, there is a reason why the falling down has a reason, and that will be unveiled much later through the songs. But I stand up, and all of a sudden there is more blue in my outfit. And if you haven't spotted that yet, then go check out the video, because it's there's some evolvement going on in that laying down part. The decision to stand up and fight really does something to my character, and thus my outfit becomes more blue.
Yeah.
So, time to think about those little details. That is what I've been giving in doing it over a 5-year course.
Well, and like you said, you get to be, it's a lot of work, but you get to be more detail orientated. You get to focus more
Yeah,
on the story, and you get to really delve into your visual mind as well as your
yeah,
musical mind. And you
yeah,
mentioned all of these different musicians that you've had throughout these 6 songs. I counted
yeah.
22 to be precise.
Oh,
What was
I didn't count yet. So
yeah,
thank you
yeah,
for
yeah.
for me.
That's
That is
not
impressive.
that's not. I don't think that was even including like the 3 prominent features that you've had as well. But this, like, just the musicians that, like, of
Yeah,
course, guitarists, bassists, drummers, Paddy Gurdy with the hurdy-gurdy, and
yeah,
what
yeah.
was the decision behind like having different musicians versus just sticking with like one group of musicians?
Well, it was because I didn't have a set band to do this. And Joost and I were brainstorming around, cannot totally claim that this was my idea. And then he said, "Why, if we have if we can do a different musical vision per song, should we not find musicians who actually fit that musical vision? Because if you only look at the drummers, each song has such a different way of drumming that we now have the luxury to choose drummers that really fit a certain style. For example, in the Eldest Call, we had René Boxem
Mm-hmm.
from Blackbriar, who is really good at that folky, bit mid-tempo metal drumming style. He's really good at that. You should not ask Arjen van Wezenbeek from Epica to do that, because he will get
No.
bored and he will not know what to do.
Right.
But ask him to drum a song like Flameborn, and he's your man.
Yeah. No,
And
that
that
makes
and that is
it
sorry, yeah.
makes no, it makes total sense. Like you said, why stick to, well, like you said, you didn't specifically have one group in the beginning anyway, and you
Yeah.
have all of these musicians not at your door per se, but like out there willing to maybe work with you. And I mean, the worst they can
Yeah,
say is no,
somehow
but you
I'm
know,
yeah, but somehow how I'm connected to each and every one of them. And if it's a bit too far away, because for example, Francesco, I did not know him, but I did perform when I was in Sandria with Flesh God Apocalypse, so I already had a link with those musicians, but he was not at that show. He wasn't. He was in the band, and he wasn't, and then he came back, something like this. um he wasn't at that show, but Joost had a link with him, and I was looking for a voice that had uh, a kind of lower grunt. I wanted a grunt to come from the chest.
yeah,
So many are high pitched, and I wanted a more grounded sound, because I felt that that was what a the leader of an army would sound like. Especially the more Viking and medieval army leaders. Um, so we were kind of brainstorming, and Yo said, "What about the singer from Flesh God?" And I was like, "Oh yes, Flesh God, I know them. I know the people." Um, and then he said, "Yeah, but we should ask Francesco. I actually work with him, so let's see if he's interested." And well, he said yes right away. And he sent me multiple times in capitals, "This is such an epic song." So he was also really happy about the outcome.
yeah. Well, and your voices, like, I really love that juxtaposition, that contrast between, of course, your voice and then his voice,
Yeah,
and bringing those two styles together. I feel like, especially within that song itself, it needs that. big feeling
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
push
I
forward the
needed
emotion.
someone who could deliver that level of brutality because
Yeah.
I could never do that. So yeah, I needed to someone to counter me, to counter my voice. And well, that is just he did it in such a, well, I might again say brutal way. The first time I heard it, I was like, yes, this is exactly what the song needs. And I was actually surprised at how much I liked it because usually I do not tend to listen to bands who have someone growling, screaming that much, as I'm much more into, well, obviously operatic singing or
Mhm.
melodic singing. So I like to hear a voice, not too much of a distorted voice. But this first time I heard it, I was like, yes, that is exactly the purpose. This is like bringing the story across in such a deep way that yeah, perfect fit.
Yeah, I completely agree. As soon as I saw when you were promoting it, I was like, oh, Francesco with
Yeah,
Diane. I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear this because, of course, I actually got to interview Francesco about their previous Flash God album, and
yeah.
then seeing
Which
his
was
story.
called
Oh, I can't think about
opera.
it. Yes, that's it. Yes, yes, yes.
So
And it was about his personal story about his accident, and
yes,
and
yeah,
now coming into your personal story with what's been going on with you. I just think it's such a clever crossover, and I just love how you did it. And I've honestly, I mean, I've rewatched all of your music videos and songs so many
ah,
times, but
thank you.
Phantom of War, it's my personal favorite so far, just because of how big it is and just how it feels like a song where if you get
Huge,
knocked
right?
down,
Yes,
you get yourself back up, you dust yourself off, you get yourself up and you push
yeah,
on. And like you said, like inviting all of these individual musicians on, and they're all so incredibly talented within their own right, and they pick up that
yeah,
instrument and it becomes part of them. And that's what I love
yeah,
about this scene is it's one thing to pick up an instrument, it's then another to have that instrument become part of your story and your soul,
yeah,
and that's what
yeah.
they bring to this project.
Absolutely, yes. And what I also like is that everyone who has now participated is very involved. And I love that, I'm building my own musician community. And that that gives me a feeling of being supported by people that I admire. And that is um it's something that I really cherish. It's one thing to work with people, it's a totally different thing to have to work with people who understand what you want to do, who understand you, and who say, go ahead, I will help you get this story out there. It's heartwarming.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's what this community is about for the most part.
Yeah,
It's such a nice and heartwarming community in general, and just having these people backing you and pushing you
yeah,
to do better and to keep going for
yeah,
one, because I'm sure there's been times where you're like, can I keep doing this? Am I brave enough to keep going? And yes, you are. You have this amazing community now, and it just, I don't know, I love it.
yeah.
I've been here from the beginning. I'm so excited that you're here talking to me again today. And it's already been 2 years of writing this album. Has anything changed within that creative process, do you think, or has it just very much stayed the same because
Um,
that's like what's become not easy but known to do? I know you mentioned, of course, there's the cycles and everything, but I mean, like, when it comes to actually sitting down and songwriting and inspiration and things like that.
Mm, not per se. I think the only thing changed is that the whole process is becoming more and more stable as
Hmm.
we now have blueprints of everything. But that is only like the structure, like planning wise and task wise. I mean, on the creative part, um, It's a whole different ball game every time. And reaching out to new musicians is like, oh, will they go for it? It's like you feel this tension every time. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's also, the thrill of it. It should stay there because otherwise it will get boring really quickly.
Yeah.
And if I'm bored writing the music, then it will definitely be a lame song to listen to. Nobody wants to hear an uninspired song. So it's good to have the feeling that you have to be on edge, and it's good to have a deadline.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure. Like you don't want to go into something and just not feel it and then put
Yeah,
that out because you have to put
doesn't
something
work.
out.
No.
No, no. And speaking of these different singles, of course, you have filmed some incredibly beautiful music videos that go along with them. Have you
Yeah.
had a favorite so far in terms of like the
Ooh,
storytelling, the location, like the costume, like your dress that you're wearing or anything like that?
that's such difficult question because every video has their own aspects which I love. I mean, the ruined castle from A Symphonic Tragedy, that was just brilliant. Although it's a little inside thingy, but I had Robin complaining that now that after two shoots outside, we were finally like inside, but then again, the castle had no roof and it was pouring with rain. And he was like, okay, so you finally we're doing an inside shoot, and then it has no roof. So, but that's just an inside joke. Yeah. Gosh, that ruined castle was beautiful. Flameborn was shot on two locations, of which one of them was actually at my parents' place, where I grew up. So that was very special. The scenes with the demon and me being in the cage, that
Mhm.
is the old water mill that my grandfather used to run before it burned down, and now it's rebuilt. But that is a very special place to me. Poor in the eldest call, I got to work with birds of prey. I never thought that I would do that. Find a Faulkner and say, "Hey, I'm doing a video. Can you help me out?" And oh yeah, can I interact with the birds? Although even though I've never done that, and just I'll figure that out. It will work. Like, come on, birdie. It actually did work like that. It worked very easy, and which is not a given. The Faulkner was actually really impressed, and he was like, "Oh, you could become my assistant because they're really drawn to you," and which is a good thing. But believe me, if like this very heavy uhu looks at you like at this range,
It's
and he
very
just,
intimidating.
my God, he just like tilted his head, and he went like, and I was like, I don't think he likes me. And then Renee said, "Okay, are you ready? And now sing." I'm like, "Okay." So I did
Well,
that.
I mean, you look
Then
majestic doing it. Yeah, I could not tell that you were like nervous or afraid or anything during that. And you don't realize how heavy. I mean, they're big, but you
it
don't
was really
realize how
heavy.
heavy they're
Yeah,
going to be. And then you're holding it for like a long time, like a long period,
that was
and your
actually
arm.
the yeah only me in the blue cape and having the uhu on my arm. That was like an hour and a half. But of course, what you don't see in the video is that their owner or keeper, I should say, was standing pretty close. And every
Yeah,
time we had a like cut and just a moment in between, he was like holding up my arm.
right.
And
Giving you
then the moment
that
he let go, I
support.
was like, ah. Yeah, a little bit of support there, but he did warn me, keep your arm up
Hmm.
because if you lower it, they're so used to being, the on top position. If you lower it and they become lower than your face, they will claw themselves up.
Right.
And just watch that video again and look at how big their claws are. You will even though you get massive cramps, you will hold your arm up if you know that. But
Of
then
course.
again, it was so much fun. And then for the most current video for a Phantom of War, I got to work with 18 sword fighters. And well, we had the idea, and then where do you find those people? I mean, in Call of Destiny, I myself was fighting with a sword, but that was like a gummy sword. It wasn't real. It's fun because if you look at the video and if you look close enough, you can see that because the swords, once they hit one another, iron will like bash and
Hmm.
go there, go out again. And these dummy swords, they go like because they vibrate so quickly. So I knew that. So I was set on not having LARP LARPers in the video, but having real swordsmen.
Hmm.
But okay, so you can wish for that, and then well, go find it, young lady. And okay. But I actually found a great production company called Springlevend Verleden. And they work with television shows, movies, big medieval festivals. And they are true to the core. I mean, everything they wear is like time appropriate. If it doesn't fit within a certain time frame, so early medieval is where my video sets, then it's not allowed on set. So that is how pure they are. And well, I guess that only made my video that more realistic.
Yeah, no, it certainly did. That seeing them being in the different scenes and just seeing how true to real life their outfits and everything was, and
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I think you need that kind of strictness for to be on set in that to for them to get into the right mindset to be able to do what they're doing.
yeah, yeah. For them, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, yes. For me, I was like, yes, of course, you need that to for the video to be believable. But then again, you need to have the option. It's actually a very luxury position to be in that I found them and that they were willing to work with me.
yeah,
But indeed, for them, yes, yes. They also go on. They told me they go on camps, just for fun, where they live as if they are really, really in that time frame. So I don't know if they really go hunting, but they do like gather food, gather wood to make a fireplace, build their own tents, and sleep outside. And I was like, wow, that
yeah. No,
is
my cousin
wow,
is
ocean.
part of one of those groups. I don't, it's not LARPing,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like actual Viking to the lore. Everything's got to be really
yes,
serious. And
yeah,
she's fully into that. And I just think it's really fascinating how people are keeping that sort of history alive. And now
yeah.
that you've brought that into your own music and the music video too, it's such a nice thing to see in today's
Yeah,
society.
I think so too. And the fun thing now is that so many of them have now become fan. They're
Yeah.
following everything. And so today, on the day that we're recording this, I actually made a post about them, showing a lot of pictures on my socials, and they get way more pictures. And they're all like, "Oh, that's me right there, it's me right there." And they also did that with the teasers, and in the final video, they're just so excited to see themselves now in the video. And yeah, they what can I say, they love it, uh, maybe even more than I do. They're really enthusiastic,
Yeah. Well,
which again
speaking,
makes it feel like, it's a very I always say it's teamwork,
yeah.
because I could never do this alone, and I want people engaged. I want them to feel that this is not only my journey, that they're becoming part of my journey. And those fighters now, they feel that too, and that just strengthens everything for me.
Yeah, no, it's got to be such an awesome feeling, and
Yeah.
especially if they didn't know who you were before, and then they get to
Yeah.
listen to what you're doing and how you're doing it, and now they've become fans themselves. And like you said, it is exciting seeing yourself be part of something and then that being pushed out. Like that's the good thing
Yeah.
about social media and about the internet that we have today, is
Yes.
just how we can reach so many people and then they can become
Yeah.
part of our little worlds that we have. And it's really
Yeah.
exciting. And speaking of your music videos, they're filmed and edited by Cinebuds, aka
Yeah.
Renee, Zora, and Robin of Blackbriar. How did this
Yes.
relationship come about? Like, and of course, have you enjoyed working with them?
Well, to the last question, absolutely. But just ask them if they enjoy working with me.
I will have to
No,
next time. We've got like quite a nice relationship going with Renee and Zora, so I will have to ask them now.
yes, you ask them. Ask them if they can still stand my stalking. I'm just saying that because I'm a well, I think I can say this. I'm a perfectionist, and they kind of know it. And every time I write the scripts myself and I present them with a script, and with the last script, Renee says, "You know, we're not doing a Hollywood production, right?" But we have such a great working relationship. Also, like we're friends, and I've been friends with Renee and Zora before. I think I'm definitely friends with Robin now. Um, that we have such a good relationship. I mean, on set we can be really serious, but there's always this moment for no, this look of recognition that you can have with one another, or just like smirk over something, which lightens every serious situation. Because these shoot days, they are long. I get up at 5:30 or 6 to do my makeup and hair, and then we see each other at first light, and then we shoot. Um, well, mostly back to back, no lunch, no breaks, whatever, until the sun goes down, or it becomes, the sunset is maybe too darkish. Depends on the season. And it's hard work, especially in winter when it's very cold. I mean, if
Hmm.
for the elder skull, we had to take out all the reds of the video because my cheeks, my nose, and especially my hands, they were like flaming red from the cold, and it really looked silly on the screen. So we took out all of the reds, which actually gave it a really nice vintage look. But it was a must. But you get one another through situations like that. And what also is very special, that they have been with me from the start of this solo journey. I mean, the video connection, it started actually with the Next Lieber song, because on the third chapter, which is about Anne Frank, we have an the title escapes me. Is it Heart of Amsterdam? I think so. I think it's gosh, that's horrible that I don't know the title by heart. But it's the ballad from that third chapter about Anne Frank. And Renee actually shot that video for us. It was it? Yeah, that was the first time working with him. And it was a totally different setup, but the video turned out really great. And I found that he was so flexible to move with my ideas and then, build upon them. And also, which is something that I really, really love, be honest if something doesn't work, and, be straight to the face. I don't like people who just, are too polite and then it doesn't work or you lose time. I like the efficiency that they
Hmm.
have,
Hmm.
because I work like that too. Um, so yeah, that was the first video that we did together. And then when I started the whole Soulward Bound journey with After the Storm, when we were writing the first song, I was still doubting, like, should I do a video now or should I do one later or should I do a video like every time? So I proposed that to Rene and he said, let's do a video for every song.
Mhm.
Let's like not only make it a musical journey, but also like it's becoming a movie, you know, because the next song starts where the other song finishes. So it's a cinematic production now as well as a musical production. And so he, René, which is the drummer of Blackbriar, then Zora, which is the singer, and then Robin, who plays guitar, but I find him more to be a bass player. But well, he still doesn't shift to bass, so apparently he is a guitar player. I don't know, something about his posture just tells me that he should play bass, not guitar. But that's just me. Anyway, the three of them, they were there right at the start, and for the first video we traveled to Luxembourg, and for the first video I think we kind of had an idea of what we wanted to do, but most of it was improvisation. And then for the other videos, I came up with a script, and we were really dedicated in time wise and shot wise. So yeah, I don't know. I feel very safe in their hands. I know that if I'm in front of their camera, that well, everything I do will look pretty. And if there are some images that I do not agree with, then they are mm, mm, they are always okay with taking them out. So yeah, and that just gives me it actually, now that I think of it, it gives me the same feeling as working with a great conductor, which is a totally different thing, you might think. But if you have a conductor that gives you the room to breathe, then your voice will just float through the music, and that will be magic. If you have a conductor that wants to be boss and, you know, doesn't give you any room and he will dictate how things have to go, then you suffocate. So that is what they do as well.
Yeah.
We have a clear path. We have a set goal of what we want to reach. And we always shoot way too much. And you know, I feel safe in their hands. So
Yeah.
it's a great working relationship. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to look at it, because I think a director is pretty much like a composer in a way, just on in different jobs.
Yeah,
And
conductor, like a classical
yeah,
orchestra.
and
Yeah.
uh, the way they film and the way they edit things together, and the color
Yeah.
grading, it's just, it's so beautiful to watch, even within their own work in Blackbriar too. It's just, they really
True.
know how to storytell through the
Oh,
lens,
absolutely.
and
And
it's
when I started working with him, I didn't know that there were like, of course, you know, but you don't get it. Uh, the depth of what an edit does, and the edits in my videos, at least, are always done by Zora, and
mhm,
she really has a talent for this. I mean, for example, in Flameborn, um, I wrote the script, and the moment that Marcella and I run towards one another, that is set through the whole video, but then the embrace, I had it at a different point of the music. And then the first time I saw this edit and it came, the embrace, I did not expect it. Although I knew that the embrace was coming, I did not expect it right there and then. Oh, and it struck me. And I was like, okay, this is where it should be. She was absolutely right, because if I feel it and I know it's coming and what it will look like, then everyone who watches this will just be gutted and share that feeling of, no, I want to hug someone or be hugged.
yeah, I
Um,
still want to be in the middle of that hug, even though I heard for you it was quite an uncomfortable one, because you are quite a bit taller than Marcella, and she had to
that
like.
is actually oh man, this was so funny to shoot, because yes, we differ like 15 centimeters, I think it is. So we were running towards one another, but you should see it like this, running towards one another. And then I had to like crouch, so I was at the same height, but try crouching and running. It was stupid, but we only did it for the close scenes. But oh man, if anyone would have filmed that, I would be like this running. It was silly. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it gets me every time I see it. It's just, she really did Zora speak, going back to Zora and her editing, she
Yeah.
really, like, just knowing to put it in that super impactful moment during the song, and it just, I mean, you saw my reaction, you saw how it affected me. It still affects me that way. It's just because it's such a beautiful moment of you're
Yeah.
finally together and you're finally embracing, and
Yeah.
yeah, I still want to be in the middle
Yeah.
of the both of you for that hug.
Well, if I ever get to meet you in real life, I'll bring Marcella and we'll do the running scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll have to bend down for me too because I am quite tiny.
Okay, I'm used to it now anyway.
Well, I just want to divert a little bit to, of course, you started a Patreon community with
Yes.
this solo album. How have you found building that community on that side of things? Because I feel like Patreon has become this like really amazing tool for musicians
Yeah.
and artists
Yeah.
that you now
Yeah.
get to be able to share behind the scenes things and really connect on a much deeper level than just putting things out on social media.
Yeah. Well, it actually took me by surprise because when I didn't do it myself, I was a little bit doubting, like, is this something we should really be doing? I mean, isn't it like sort of selling yourself? And I didn't have a very positive feeling at first. But then I started also because a lot of people asked me, will you be doing this? Because we would love to support you. And I was like, well, people are offering to support me, then maybe I should. And Marcella she already had her patron and she was very positive. So I thought, okay, just going to do it, and let's see where I end. Well, if it's up to me, it doesn't end anytime soon because I am loving my community. They um they mean a lot to me, but what they especially do is motivate me in a level that I cannot find on my socials. I mean, I am in contact with so many of these people, also talking one on one to them, and they have a way of um I don't know, sharing what my songs, what my honesty, because I also talk about things that don't work out. I talk on my Patreon community about that, and they have a way of maybe it's the same thing with the conductor of letting me um feel that everything's okay, that they are there, uh, whatever happens, and that they have this faith and believe in me that, even if the outside world, outside of my Patreon community, would say, yeah, we don't care about this song too much, if they would love it, they are my core fans,
Yeah.
which is something that I found. I didn't know it would work that way. So it feels really good to be convinced, and because I can be a little bit stubborn, so I'm really happy to be proven wrong. They truly, they truly are the backbone of my solo career, and I'm will be forever grateful for that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I've only just started one myself, even though I've had my channel, it'll be 6 years in November, but I was much
yeah,
of the same thought as you. Like I feel like I'm charging people to have this different content, and like I shouldn't be selling myself like that. But then like you,
exactly. Yeah,
people were asking for like full album reactions and things that I can't necessarily put on the channel for
yeah, yeah,
reasons, and I was like, well, I'll get it started and see how it's going, and honestly,
yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. It's like turned into something different, something
Right.
away from the
Yeah,
channel, and it's such a nice tool that we get to use,
yeah,
and I'm glad that you're also experiencing like really great things with it. And it's the fact that it's these you're not begging people to come and like look at it. It's people
No,
actually
no.
seeking you out and
Yeah.
wanting to be there, and that's the difference, I think. That
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean their enthusiasm, it's goes beyond anything. I mean, like you say, those extra content thingies, I love to vlog.
yeah.
But no one on YouTube will watch a 30-minute vlog, which is what I had for the making of the Elder Scroll, the video. But telling my patrons that will be coming a 30-minute vlog, they go nuts because they're like, where's the popcorn? Bring it on. They want to
Right.
know everything. And I know that they watch it multiple times to see if they can catch anything else that they missed the first time. And so it feels so good because they really want to know every detail, and they cherish every layer. And I have a lot of them who go on the Easter egg hunt in my videos to discover every layer, and sometimes they find more stuff than I thought I put in there, and they're like, oh, you mean this by that, right? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
That
that was
has happened.
definitely on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yes, now I do. They're just brilliant. Sometimes they get me, probably, I guess, more than I get myself. Yeah.
Well, and then of course you also have your jewelry company, Precious Metal Jewelry, that is
Yes.
still going strong. Do you feel like since starting this album journey, you felt more inspired to create pieces that go along with this journey?
Oh, I like that question because I am indeed wearing my jewelry in the video. Um, I I have when I started, so in After the Storm, I am wearing an earring which is a sword made
Hmm.
out of a symbol, and it's a complete sword. And then when in a symphonic tragedy I fall down and it rains pieces of fabric on me, when I get up again, it's a half broken sword. So there is symbolism in that, obviously, because it means I've hit rock bottom, and even the sword earring is now half broken, and it might just return to a completed sword. And also the necklace I'm wearing, which is made from a bass guitar string with a blue pendant that turned gray in the video. So I love to combine my jewelry in there and have some kind of wink, because of course it's not early medieval at all to wear such a thing. But I love this little wink of wearing a bass guitar string necklace in a music video. That is yeah, that is something that I enjoy putting in there, and maybe no one spots it, but I know, and that counts. But outside of my music videos, I still create a lot of jewelry. I actually had the silly idea of launching a complete new collection together with the release of Phantom of War. I thought, yes, that would be great. And I didn't think about how much stress and time that would cost me, because it's stressful anyways to do a release. Well, combining that with a completely new collection, it might not be something that I will repeat in the future. But anyways, it's out there. And since you asked, wearing my pieces, obviously today as well. This is a symbol earring, and this is a necklace made from a bass guitar string. And I guess what is both in my music and my jewelry is the storytelling aspect,
Yeah.
because everything I use for my jewelry is has something to do with music, be it a symbol, be it strings, guitar strings, or bass guitar strings. I even have piano strings. I don't work with them unless they have been in a studio, on the stage, or just played upon by someone as a hobby. Um, but they have to have music in their veins. And then somehow they are broken, or the strings don't sound that nice anymore. And then they are donated to me. I create a new jewelry item out of them, or I create a jewelry item out of them. So I give them a new purpose. And then the audience can come to my page, listen to, for example, what this earring sounds like or sounded like, and then they can wear the music that they love. And I'm still so stoked about my own concept. If I was a teenager, I would absolutely buy my whole store. But now, well, I create everything, so I don't have to buy it.
Well, you should be stoked about it. It's such a fantastic concept, and
Thank you.
you're upcycling and you're breathing new life into these broken items that once were giving life to music themselves, and now they're giving life to being something beautiful and wearable, and like wearable art in a way.
Yeah, well, and you can touch music, and there's no other way that you can, you know, feel music so close by. Feel that the string around your wrist is catching onto the warmth of your body. I mean, that is, if you think about that, and then that same string, for example, was on stage with Epica or
Mhm.
with Powerwolf. That is, for fans, that is really as close to the music as you can get.
Yeah. No, it's magical. I think it's really magical.
Ah, thank you. Think so too.
Well, we have been. I know you said to keep this short, but we have been chatting for almost an hour, so I'm gonna wrap.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, time flies if you're having fun.
It certainly does, and when when you're talking to somebody and the conversation's just flowing and it's natural and it's just you make it easy. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you too. You too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we would have been done already.
Do you have any rest of your plans that you can tell us about?
No, but I can tell you that the first idea of Diana 7 are in the works. And if I manage to pull this off, then even if no one will likes it, I would be like, if I pull this off, then this would mean the world to me on a very, very deeply personal level. And I might just pull it off.
Well.
Because the direction this is going in is going into the might just happen. So I don't want to say anything, but this one is gonna be, it's gonna be deeply personal, but a full circle for on multiple levels. So yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna shush.
Yeah, no spoilers, no spoilers.
No
Although
spoilers.
I'm always intrigued for new music, but now you've got me even more curious. Now I'm like, what's gonna
Oh,
happen
yay!
next? Where are we gonna go? Do you have any last words of thanks or anything like that for anybody watching this interview?
Well, if you're new to me and to my music, then please feel invited to check it out. Start with After the Storm, and let me take you through the story of Soulward Bound. I now have 6 songs released. If you watch the videos back to back, you will be hopefully really drawn into the story. And well, after that, please accompany me on this journey, because Song 7 is about to be born, and I would love it if you and if everybody else who already knows me and who knows my music would be a part of that and walk this journey all the way up to song number 10 and the release of Soulward Bound.
Well, thank you so much, Dianne, for being with me today and for chatting to me again about this journey that we've been on. We'll have to get together again, like when everything is released, so
Absolutely.
that we can go back over everything. And I, of
Yes.
course, will leave all of Dianne's information down below in the description so you can go ahead and find her, support her, and all of that good stuff. Again, Dianne, thank you so much. It's always an honor getting to chat with you.
Well, the honor is all mine. Thank you for having me.
Bye, guys. I'd just like to take a moment to thank all of my incredible Patreons. You can find all of my full album reactions, my early access reactions, all of my early access interviews, and all of my Twitch livestream VODs over there. You can find the link for that right here or down below in the description. But don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down below in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.